Hey there, welcome to Jane Y. I haven't popped around for a while, so I thought it was time that I did a bit of a movie review today, and it's all about adaptations. Now, I did a bit of research this morning and went through my bookcase and divvied up all of the books that have been turned into movies. So I've got one pile of books that I like, one pile of books that I hated when they were turned into movies, and a couple that I can't bring myself to see, and all of the movies I'm going to talk about today kind of fit into that category. So in the like category, Pride and Prejudice, the BBC version, not the movie. Sorry, Keira Knightley, it wasn't very good. Sex and the City, great adaptation into a TV series. Blade Runner, believe it or not. Devil Wears Prada, I think the movie is actually much better than the book, believe it or not. Maybe that should have a pile all of its own. Gone with the Wind, absolute classic. Atonement, great movie, great book. All of the Harry Potters, I think they're a great example of adaptations and getting the right bits to go into the movie and not leaving out all of those necessary bits. You know, pick and choose a little bit with those, but all in all, they're pretty good. The ones that I hated, Bridget Jones' Edge of Reason, need I say more? Jane Austen Book Club, really didn't like the movie. And The Lovely Bones, Peter Jackson, what were you doing? Because it's such an amazing novel and such a bad movie. He can almost be forgiven though for doing the other, I think the world best adaptation, Lord of the Rings, the trilogy, because I can watch those movies, I cannot read those books. Way too much descriptive detail in them for me. So maybe Peter Jackson gets a reprieve and Lovely Bones gets to go in the good pile just for that. And the couple that I can't even bring myself to go and see, Eat, Pray, Love, because I really do love that book, and The Road, Cormac McCarthy. I'm not going to go and see that movie anytime soon. The book did enough damage for me in that department. Water for Elephants, the movie starring Reese Witherspoon and Robert Pattinson. I will be going in that category. I'm not going to see it because I love the novel. Sarah Gruen from a few years ago. Great novel. I don't have anything against Robert Pattinson. I don't have anything against the fact that a film reviewer described it as Titanic with elephants, which really made me want to go and see it. But I'm just not going to go and see it. A movie I was kind of excited to see was Something Borrowed, because Emily Giffin wrote the novel for that. About 2005, she did a sequel as well called Something Blue, and I was really excited to see it because it's a chick lit novel. It's not that hard hitting, but compared to some other chick lit that's out there, it's actually got some pretty weighty issues in it. Fidelity and true love and friendship and they're tackled meatier than some of the other movies and books that you get in that genre. So I was kind of excited to go and see it. I was sadly very disappointed because what in novel form is three-dimensional characters having three-dimensional issues and that are dealt with in a three-dimensional way are just in movie form. They're not even two-dimensional, they're one-dimensional. The main character, Rachel, played by Ginnifer Goodwin, who's gorgeous by the way, she is a good girl who hates her job. That's pretty much her character description. That does not get fleshed out through the movie. We find out no more information about her whatsoever. Her best friend is Darcy, played by Kate Hudson, who is very good. She's a great actress, great comedic actress, but her character is vapid, attention-seeking, nasty, dances on tables, drinks too much. She's just awful, basically. And so the idea that we're meant to invest in this relationship and these characters, when they're not even fleshed out, when you positively hate one of them, it's just, you just don't like these characters, and you don't believe that these two have been friends for years and years and years. And that is the crux on which the entire movie is based, because what happens is Rachel reveals that she's been in love with Darcy's fiance Dex for years and years and years. They sleep together, they have an affair, and it's all very, very messy. The question though is that you just think, but why on earth, when your best friend's so mean and horrible, didn't you pop on some lingerie to liquor him up and seduce him years ago? Seriously, you just don't believe these characters. Rachel has got a male friend that she confide in, played by John Krasinski from The Office. He does a pretty good job, I've got to say. I quite like him as an actor. He's popped up in quite a few movies already this year, and I think he's going to be a big star. But he's just wasted. I didn't understand his character. He has love dramas of his own, which aren't really resolved. I know that there's a sequel, but it was all just a little bit confusing, and really some big issues were raised. Here is a woman who has to choose between a lifelong friendship and possibly true love, or what she believes to be true love. What do you do in that situation? And what were some huge issues about friendship and adultery and commitment are really just brushed over in the need to get to a conclusion. It was really disappointing. I think we are smart enough in this day and age to deal with some complicated, sophisticated romantic comedies, some good chick literature. We don't need to go to the movies or read a book every time and it'll be serious and dark. You're not going to see me reviewing Snowtown on this blog anytime soon, let's put it that way. But we do have brains, we can think a little bit outside of the box, and I like to from time to time. I definitely don't want to sit in a movie theatre for 2 hours watching one-dimensional characters that I just didn't like very much. So unfortunately for me, Something Borrowed would be going into this pile and neither of these two. But having said that, my Something Borrowed has gone missing. So if you have borrowed it, please return it, and I definitely will not be going to the sequel, Something Blue, because that in itself is also a good novel, and I don't want them to ruin it for me as well. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Hit me up on the blog, check me out on Twitter, Jane_Y, and of course you can also hear me on MTR Sunday afternoon from 5 with Glenn Ridge for the Entertainment Hour, MTR 1377 if you're in Melbourne, or you can listen online, mtr1377.com.au. I'll see you soon.